Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Thomas Youngblood, guitarist for Kamelot, to the podcast. The new Kamelot record, Dark Asylum, is out today on Napalm Records. It's a huge release day for Napalm Records. Thomas talks about his early days playing guitar, his approach to writing new music, choosing artists to collaborate with, touring in the States versus Europe, and a lot more. It's not a long conversation, but we cover a lot of topics. I really dig Dark Asylum. Kamelot is a band I've only recently gotten into, and I think Dark Asylum is an excellent new chapter to the band's discography. So don't miss out. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page, where $1 a month gets you early access to every episode. Enjoy today's conversation with Thomas from Kamelot. How's it going?
Great. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you too. Is your base of operations still in Florida?
Yeah, I have a place in Florida and a place in Pennsylvania, actually.
Okay, nice.
So right now I'm in Pennsylvania, but I'll be back in Florida soon for the tour.
Gotcha. Is that where the band gets together for rehearsal and practice?
Yeah, we have a rehearsal place there and storage, and that's where it all kicks off.
Very nice. I want to start talking about Florida. I know you've talked about and credited moving to Tampa and playing guitar and music as the catalyst for being able to grieve and process the grief of losing your father. Was there a person down there or a record you discovered in that time, or even just being a part of the Tampa metal scene that helped with that?
Yeah, no. So I moved to Tampa when I was like 12, 13. My father passed away, and I moved in with my aunt. And her and my cousin worked at a music store. So when I was like 14, 15, I got a guitar from the music store. I played saxophone before that in middle school, but and I wasn't really into metal at all until a friend of mine had like a Judas Priest live record, because I was into more like rock and 70s stuff that my sisters listened to, like Queen and Rush and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And then I just started making my own music, and I bought a little recorder and made my own songs and bought a drum machine and just started creating from basically 6 months after learning to play guitar.
That's cool. One of the things that I like to do before I talk to somebody for the first time, especially if they've released a bunch of records, is to try to sit down and listen to their discography. Obviously, Kamelot's released a bunch of records and you've done non-Kamelot stuff, so I didn't have a chance to run through the entire discography, but I did spend some time listening to Eternity. I'm curious if you have listened to Eternity recently or ever go back to those old records to kind of hear how far the band has come, or to see if there is connective created tissue that still runs through the course of the discography that carries into what you do now.
Yeah. So we just did a remaster of the first 3 records, and so it was kind of cool to go back out the 30 something years back and listen to some of the things. And, some of it was a little cringy, but then there were some other things I thought was like, that's pretty cool, and it was sort of a catalyst for me to bring back some of the folk elements on Dark Asylum that we had on Eternity, and we also had on The Fourth Legacy. But yeah, I mean, if you told me back then I'd be doing what I'm doing now and playing big shows and stuff, I don't think I would believe you.
you've been doing this band for over 30 years and you're the only original member still. I know Sean's been in the band a long time as well, but because you've been doing this for so long and have gone through so many lineup changes over the years, has there ever been a moment where you're like, I don't know if I want to rebuild the band again. I don't know if I want to continue forward anymore. Or is this just a thing you love so much that you're like, could never see yourself putting it down and putting it aside, that music is just that much a part of you and creating is how you express yourself?
It's a mixture of I love it, but also the band is still growing, and every album cycle we're playing bigger rooms, and it's just like one of those. It would be a kind of a weird thing, to just walk away from. But it's like, I don't know. It's just something that we do. It's the same like if you're a surgeon, you're not going to just walk away because you've been doing it for 30 years. It's something you do, and I mean, if we saw some sort of weird shift in the market and it was just we weren't able to play the rooms we want to play, then it'll be something to think about. But right now, we're really excited about what's happening, and we still enjoy creating.
That's cool. In 2015, the band signed with Napalm Records. When you guys signed with Napalm, did it feel like either a step up or a new era of legitimacy for the band? Did it feel like you were taking a next step?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can just say that, they've always been a really good supporter for us. And we've enjoyed working with them. The record label, it just depends on the label, but they've been great to work with. And I wouldn't say that was any kind of shift when it comes to the label. I think it's all about the albums, the writing, surrounding yourself with the right group of people when it comes to creating and touring. But obviously the label is part of that whole kind of teamwork.
From Eternity to this new album, Dark Asylum, there's been 30 years of technological growth and change. How has technology shaped the band, and has it allowed you to either try new things in the studio with the way you write or bring things from the studio to the live environment?
To be honest with you, it's kind of old school way of doing things still for me. Like I have my iPhone and I record riffs in a sound check, and I go back and I replay them into my DAW studio, which used to be a 4-track recorder. I program the drums, which used to be a drum machine. And the keyboards, I play basic chords and then let our keyboard player Oliver do it the right way. So, I mean, sometimes it actually slows you down with computer stuff and things bogging down, or you not have enough RAM for a certain software. But in general, it's a really still basic old school riffs, drums and keyboards, and those become songs. And we have an amazing singer that writes melodies and great lyrics, and it just kind of evolves the same way it used to. In a way, it's other than it's all digital now versus being on tape.
Yeah. How much do you work with Tommy to collaborate on lyrics or ideas and concepts for songs or albums?
Yeah, so I talk to him about basically everything when it comes to the songs and the ideas, and also, the whole band. I throw ideas around with them, and but on this record specifically, I feel like Tommy has just taken it to another level. His vocals are incredible, and we were able to convey this on the stage here in about 2.5 weeks. It's going to be really exciting to bring, many of the songs from Dark Asylum to the live show.
No, with Dark Asylum, what was kind of the inspiration for that title and the theme of the album?
Yeah, so I had this idea of an asylum, but I kind of thought the idea of placing this in a hospital was a little bit generic and not so interesting. So something popped in my head about like an abandoned cathedral, like this church, and it's been converted into this asylum, which we call Ravenhill. So aesthetically, I think it opens the mind and the storyline up to all different kind of, tangents when it comes to like religion or the typical asylum kind of place, and it's also a metaphor, I think, for our own personal way of thinking, our own mind, this dark asylum that we've kind of created for ourselves. And so the album, it consists of 12 different stories within this asylum, and a lot of it deals with like mental illness and different things like that. But it's a lot of metaphors on the record that I think fans can relate to in their real life.
Yeah, yeah. You've always been a band that's had a lot of features on the album. You got Clementine from Visions of Atlantis and Ignacia on this album. How'd you come up with who you wanted to work with?
It's very organic, honestly. I mean, it kind of happens. Like, we don't really go in with a gigantic plan, like, oh, this is the guest and this. And so, like, with Ignacia, we've known her for almost 10 years. And over the past few years, we've been keeping in touch regarding having her do something with Kamelot. So the timing was perfect. Clementine is similar. We've known her for years. She's actually sung with us on stage before. So the fact that Visions and Exit Eden are touring with us also is going to be great, because she'll be able to join us on tour. And and we have Tobias Sammet from Avantasia on the record. So it's just great to have these people that we've known for years be a part of their album,
After the album comes out, you have a U.S. tour, and then to kick off next year, you have a European tour. Is there kind of a difference for the band? Do you see, whether it's in Europe or the United States, how fans react? Like,
slightly different. I mean, it depends, but in general, the fan reaction is kind of similar. I mean, I think the world has just shrunk so much in terms of the way people are. Kind of, it's very similar. I mean, South America is a whole nother story. The people there, the passion is on the next level. But in general, if the fans in North America are always super loud and great. I think we have a little bit more like crowd surfing in the U.S. than Europe.
Yeah.
I remember we played a show in Jersey last tour cycle, and we had a crowd surfing guy dressed in a banana suit. So you see a little bit different things in the States than you do in Europe, but in general, our fans are always super passionate.
Yeah. I often think of like power or symphonic metal as like a big genre in the US, but like I don't live far from the venue you're playing and your US tour. And anytime there's a power metal band there, I'm downtown and I'm like, yep, the fans are here, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I'm always like, I always love it when I see crowd surfing. Like, and to me, that just means that people they feel free, they feel safe, and they just want to experience the most of the show.
Yeah. You've been doing this band a long time. Do you ever think about the legacy, or just like, man, I can't believe I've been doing this for 40 years? Or is it just like still exciting and just like, ready to get on the road and then, work?
Honestly, every album I look at like the first album, it's like I don't think too much about legacy. That's why I think a lot of bands that have been around for 20 plus years, they get lost in this legacy kind of mentality of playing songs from 20 years ago. To me, it's like, it's important to focus on the new album, new material, and believe in it, present it. And that's how you grow your fan base. You don't really grow your fan base playing songs from from 20 years ago. I mean, it's okay to do it, but it's just not the philosophy that I have for Camelot.